Hi everybody, and welcome back to the TT120 challenge layout that I'm building, Walmington, Riverside. This video we're going to wire up the track and we're going to wire up the point motors. This is for normal DCC, nothing to do with HM7000. It's going to be using my ECOS controller and my Cobalt digital IP point motors, which are dead simple to set up for railway we got here. Can't ask for much easier than this. Let's get wiring. To fix the Cobalt IP point motors, we'll just take one out of the box here. It's quite a nice little design. We have some mounting slots for screws in various locations depending on whether you mount it on a sideboard or whether on the baseboard, but we're going to mount it on the baseboard. So you get the point motor, you get a foam pad to go in between the motor, which you can use to stick it on. But what I generally do is peel off one side, line up the slots, and just use it as a nice pad just to stick on there, but I'll leave this piece of paper on not to stick it to the board, just to make life easier if I need to take it off. And what we have in the plastic bag is one little armature plate. I'm going to call it adjustable armature plate because that sticks in, slots in the slot, and you can slide it up and down, and depending on how far up or down you have, it varies how much the actuating wire pivots. The actuating wire itself is just a piece of wire with bent at 90 degrees on the end, and you just slide that up through the hole in the armature plate through here. You can see there, I'm going to use the one in the middle. It locates in the upper hole there, and the small wide-headed screw is what we use to locate in the other hole in the end of the arm. Try and do this with the camera in the way, just makes it more interesting, shall we say. Try not to knock the camera, try not to get in the way of the camera. It makes this interesting. Come on there. Gotcha. Oh, and I've done both. Arm in the way and hit the camera. Now we don't have to do this up really tight because it's just to hold the wire captive so it doesn't flop out. So just enough just to retain it. So that is now ready to fit on the board. And if you remember, we drilled the holes from the top of the baseboard. We got the hole for the rod and the 4 pilot holes for the screws. To try to make my life easier, what I do first is fix 2 of the screws in the bottom holes. Only because I'm on the side here, but I'd still fit 2 screws on one side just to make life easier in a minute. But the trouble is, because this is a lightweight board, I can't get much pressure on the screw to get it started. It just wants to fall off the screw. I'm trying not to block the camera view, you know. Get that started, get it started, here it goes, biting, yeah. So we just get that in there a little bit. Oh, bashing again. That's one. And this is why I drilled through from the top, because I know where everything is going. Bloody hell. Oops, I best edit that out. Screw, screw, screw. Come on. Start. There we go, the top screws will be easier. because it'll all be supported. There we go. What I've got to do now is get this wire here through the hole into the point tie bar. Then I just locate it on the 2 screws on the bottom, and that's why I put the 2 screws in, because now it's hands free and I don't have to try to hold it anymore. And screw it in. And away we go. I don't like this screwdriver handle, it's horrible. It was the first one I found in my tool bag, so it'll do. And as if by magic, we're all done. Just briefly while I've got you here, what I have received in the post last week was some of the Pico platform edging and some rags, which is just perfect for what I need for forming up the station here. But that's as an aside. We just put them out of the way. What we're going to do now is add the wiring of the track. I use 2 colours, black and red. What I use is back for back, black for back, and red for the front, just so everything is simple. This is DCC, remember, so simplest wiring. The rails on this side will all be black and the rails on this side will all be red. Simple as that. What I'm also going to do to reduce the amount of droppers that I'm going to fit in is I'm going to solder up some of the fish plates, just to make sure I've got a good clean tight feed, because I want everything live all the time. And once I've done that, I'm going to put the copper strip underneath the board at the back and we'll run all the droppers of that. So the lengths of my droppers is quite simple. Just need to go through the board and to the back. So the red ones will be this long and so will the black. That way I'm going to try not to waste too much wire. That will give me just enough. Holes for the droppers is easy. What I'm doing is I'm just going to cut a bit of the foam back to where I want the wire. I'll do both sides. I'll do them all at the same location. We pin vise with the drill in nice and close at the track, because then it'll all be hidden by the ballast. Job done. Obviously I'm not going to demonstrate every single bit of wire, so I'm shown it on other videos before, but I'll just show you one again. So all I'm going to do is tin the wire, tin the rail there, and then melt the 2 bits together. So I have a no clean flux pen, fluxing pen, nice liquid, like a marker pen. Just dab it on there, so that'll clean that. I've also got the resin cord solder wire. This does contain lead from Hornby, so I'm never going to run out, ever going to run out. I could be buried with half of this probably, but there we go. So that's that, easy peasy. Fiberglass pen as well, just to scrub up, just to make sure before I add the flux. Everything's going to be nice and clean. The wire easy, I'll just use the resin in the core. So clean tip, see if it's hot enough yet. It might not be hot yet because we want it nice and oh yeah, there we go. So a bit of solder. I generally put the tip under the wire because heat rises. I know it's conduction and convection and all that, but heat rises. There we go. So that has got a nicely bit of solder on the wire. Clean the rail edge. Just to make sure. Flux pin. So some flux. And now we'll tin the rail. So we'll do exactly the same. Apply the iron. Apply some solder. And hopefully that'll just, oh, look at that big blob. Didn't need that much. Let's just melt some of that off of there. Okay, so we've got a big blob of solder on there, a big blob on this wire here. Now I just want to fold the end so it's a little angle so it'll lay flat on the rail. Touch them together. Apply the heat and you let it melt. That's gone off. It's nice and cold. Now as you can see, I've stripped the wire back quite a bit. So basically when this is tucked in the hole, which is this part of the job, the wire disappears. Just push that under there and you'll never know. I'll clean that off in a minute so it's nice and smooth because there's a little bit of solder on the top, but just dress that off. Once it's all painted and ballasted, you won't even know the feed is there. So now I'm going to head off and do all the others. All the wires are fed through under the board here. All soldered on, all my nice droppers, and I've affixed on the bottom of the board here my favourite copper tape. To keep things simple, you've got the red at the front of the layout, and this is the back of the layout, which is black. Everything is red and black, red and black, red and black, red and black, and we'll keep it the same on the copper strips. Red at the front, black at the back, both sides. We just got to put a little jumper wire through the wood to join both halves together. So I'll now twist these together just to keep them tidy, trim them to length, with a little loop, and just solder them onto there. Trimmed to length, stripped back, and again we're going to tin the wires. They're tinned. Flux on the copper. Solder on a pad. Soldering the wire. Job's a good one, and I'll just repeat with all the others. Well, here we are wiring up the point motors. Now I have run out of black wire for some reason. I'm sure I've got more of it somewhere, but anyway, I have dug out some orange to go with it, because apparently orange is the new black anyway. So we're taking orange as black, still got red, so we've got red and orange now instead of red and black. So as you remember, black is at the bottom, orange at see, now I'm confused already. Black is at the bottom, red is at the top. So in this case, orange is at the bottom and red is at the top. Nature's best wire strippers. Because they're only short, small little wires. These aren't going to damage my teeth. And I can't be bothered to look for my wire strippers. Not for this little job. So we strip it back a bit, fold it in half. It's a good job to get your teeth into. Pardon the pun. Pun is in this case intended. So actually, strip a bit, fold it in half, fold it back on itself. There we go. So these are quite easy. So these bottom two are the track feeds or DCC feeds. Since I'm using the DCC bus, we'll link it onto that. Never had any issue with that. So you push up the little tab, push it in the hole. Hopefully it goes in. Come on, in you go. Why is this one being awkward? Now I'm videoing. I've done all the others. This is the last one. So if one's going to give me difficulty, it's going to be this one. There we go. Oh, see what I mean? So push it all the way in. That's it. She's got. And now the next one up is the red. So much easier when I've got the other glasses on. So push that one up. Put that one in the next hole. There we go. That's got it. That's it. That's wired up. All I've got to do now is link this wire to the next one up. And seeing as this wire is for the frog, we'll go green because frogs are green. And I'll literally solder it onto the wire and feed it in now. Just to shorten that bit, I'm going to snip that off. Solder on. This bit doesn't need to be that long, so that long there. Folded in half, so I have a bit of wire, there we go. 1, 2, 3, this one here. Sometimes. There we go, straight in the hole. And, oh, missed. Let's get those glasses off. I think I'm better off without those glasses in. Got it. There we go. 2 feeds in for the DCC, 1 for the frog. I'll do the other 3, and that will be this layout wired up. Easy as that. So we have the 2 feeds, orange to orange, red to red, green for the frog. That's it. The advantage of digital, they are wired up. And please remember, this is not for HM7000. this is normal DCC use my ECOS. So everything will go down through the buzz. Speak to the trains and speak to the points. Dead simple to set up. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is that. One bus feeds to the points, feeds to the track, frogs looped in, all done. It hasn't taken me really an hour of actual doing stuff to have this whole thing wired up. Now I've created Walmington Riverside on my screen here with the points and things. We now got to program the point motors. Now there's a little switch here, if you can see that there, hopefully you can. Down is to learn, up is to run, or run and set as they call it. So to set the address, pull the switch down to the set position, you go to the screen. Now this first set of points I've turned to the set position, and you toggle it a few times, back and forth, then you set it to the run position, and hopefully now when I toggle it, hey, that's good. So now I'll do next point, down to the learn position, toggle him a few times, turn him back up, excellent. Now I've got these all set to they work together on their own. We now have the fun part. Are they working in the correct direction? Now I've got one set of points. This one is backwards. Now what I have on my heather green diagram is point number 197, which I believe is the number that you use to reverse the direction. So I'll switch this set of points back to the learn, because I shall show you here. Look, now both these points are set for the straight on position. As you can see, he's set for the straight, but I want him to be set round here as the normal direction, because I want these two to work together so that they can't ever be wrong like they are now, because they work as a pair. Follow? Right. So because this one is backwards to that one, this one I shall set to learn position again. Now this one will remember its original address when you address it to 197. So I've created set of point 197 here. So I'm going to toggle that one a few times as 197. I'm going to reset that motor back to normal. And hopefully when I toggle these, they'll reset so they're the same. Otherwise I'm going to start reading the manual again. All the points on the diagram on the controller and on here are all set for the normal position, which is straight down the platform, and this one is set for the dead end. As you can see, we are indicated both for the straight, so change those as the pair. This wagon will now come across as the pair. I'll reset them both to the straight. I'm now set for the dead end. So he's shut away, the main lines are all set, which we can see on the diagram. So to bring the wagon out, we'll change the first set of points. I can now come out. Reset that point. Over it goes. Do the next one down. And into the bay platform we go. So everything is running as programmed. Excellent. But I'm not going to take you through everything on setting up the diagram on the controller. I've done it before. If you want to find out how to do a track plan, you'll have to go back through my archives on Hither Green. It's somewhere back there, but it's all done. And actually driving the 50 around will prove that the frogs adduced the correct orientation, because otherwise we're going to get a short circuit. Here's a challenge. Let's see if we get a short circuit. Set for the loop for the bay platform. 50 over it. Start him up. Put the lights on so I can see which way he's going. That way. Fingers crossed. I don't even need these on now. Please no short circuit. Up first frog. Sweet. Up to the second frog. Sweet. Function 28, let's turn function 28 on. Function 28 is good. It's automatic sounds and things. Right. There we go, goes the horn. All automatic, function 28. And when it stops, it'll put the brakes on as well. So I'll change those points. We'll go all the way down to the dead end. Frog number 3. Oh, hey, sweet. Straight across. Yeah. Reverse those points. And we'll set these ones as well for the whole move. And here we go. All the way out. One more frog to check. Well, there we go. Happy checkers. And we'll just take him down the dead end. Perfect score. Love it. Anyway, on that note, see you next time. Have fun. Bye for now.